All right, ladies, I'm back for week 2. So we are on Monday the 6th, and we are back to upper body. 5, 6, or 7 rounds, alternating crossbody curls, bent over rows, push-ups, concentration curls, alternating crossbody curls. I don't know if we've done these before in my program, but you're gonna hold the weight this way, and you're gonna like cross to your chest, okay? We have bent over rows. We have push-ups. I'm going to show you kneeling. And, oh, concentration curls. You might have done this once before. In the chair, elbow goes into the side of your leg. Okay, so, oh, and then we have part 2, which is planks. So usually you can do higher or elbow, but typically when I say plank, I mean elbow plank. All right, alternating crossbody curls. So you notice this one has 20 in front of it because we're alternating. So that would equal 10 per arm. And then the rest of the reps are 10, 10, 10. So with this one, you're holding the weights like this. And what you're doing is you're crossing the weight to like your opposite chest or shoulder area. Down, cross, down, cross, down, cross. So the weight stays pretty close to your body, okay? Pretty simple. Cross, cross, make sure you're nice and controlled. All right. Pretty simple. Second one, we have bent over rows, 10 bent over rows. So again, getting into that bent over position, kind of reminding you of your straight leg deadlift, where you keep that back straight, your butt's kind of going toward the wall. The weight is gonna be right here in front of you. And what you're doing is you're gonna pull the weight back to kind of your mid, this is kind of on my chest, this is kind of on my mid waist, and you're gonna squeeze your shoulder blades. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Another pretty simple, straightforward arm exercise. Push-ups. So there's a lot of different ways you can do them. If you're on the ground, kneeling is easier than regular, and then going off of that, anything where your upper body is elevated is the easiest. So I say this every time, but literally at this point, it has to be last year. Like it has to be last winter. It's been so freaking long. I slipped on ice, or it could have been last fall. I don't know. I slipped on ice on my walkway. I came down and I broke my fall with this hand. And ever since, like I cannot put weight on a certain part, like my palm, and like things like push-ups and certain things really hurt my palm and my wrist, and it's like never going away. I don't know what happened. I never went to the doctor, but I feel like I've been saying this for like seriously like 6 months in a row now. But anyways, so your full push-up, any push-up you're doing, you want to think of it like I talked about high plank position, like I talked about donkey kick. You want your body and your spine to be neutral. So your butt shouldn't be up in the air, your hips shouldn't be sunken down. You want everything as in line as it can be. And when you push up, you want everything to lower and to rise together. So for your full push-up, you're in high plank position. So again, your arms are stacked, you have a nice neutral spine, you're up on your toes. You're gonna lower everything together, press up everything together. Lower, press up. Lower, press up. That's probably like the most I've ever done, and so since I hurt my wrist. So again, you don't want to be like this. You don't want to be like this. You shouldn't be doing this. I've seen every kind of way. I've seen this. I've seen this. I've seen everything. Everything should be moving together. If you cannot do that, drop down to your knees. Again, you don't want to be like this. You want to have your butt nice and flat. Everything lowers together, rises together, lowers together, rises together. together. So you should be thinking of it as like your body is a plank, a stiff piece of wood, and the only thing that can move is your shoulders, up, down, or I should say your chest, up, down, okay? You could come off of a chair. This one is not ideal for this because it's very lightweight and it moves as I press on it, and it has these arms that come and it kind of blocks where I'd like to put my hands, but either way, you get the idea. You can do it off of a height, so that is less pressure on your body. So when you do a push-up, the closer you are to the ground, there's more pressure, more stress on your upper body, which is what's pushing you up and down. As you come off the ground, you have less pressure. So that's why doing it off of like a chair, or you might have seen that people do it off of a wall before, that's less pressure, that makes it easier. Your easiest option would probably be kneeling and off of a chair. That's probably your easiest option. So if you really need to work on keeping your body stiff and moving everything together, you might want to try that. Okay. Concentration curls. So this one you have to do sitting down, and I guess you could just do one dumbbell at a time. So what you're doing with your concentration curl is, sorry, I don't know why my nose is so itchy, out of nowhere. Okay, you're gonna get like to the edge of your seat. You're gonna have an open stance with your legs. You're gonna drop your arm between your legs, and you're gonna like knead your elbow into your thigh, okay? You're gonna let your arm hang, and you're gonna curl up, release, but don't swing. Curl up, release, but don't swing, okay? The whole time your elbow is still dug into your thigh, okay? And then you're gonna switch sides. So dig your elbow in, curl up, slow release. This chair is actually, this is actually a good height for me. You might find like some of them, you're having to like bend too far, or your legs aren't bent enough. If the chair is too high, your legs are gonna be straighter. So like when I did this upstairs, the chair was a little bit funky. This chair is actually a pretty good chair. But basically, you're digging in your elbow to whatever side that you're doing. You just wanna make sure that you don't come under and like swing up. You wanna slow lower. You basically wanna lower, but you don't wanna really lock out your arm. You want it to still have a slight bend when you lower, then up. And make sure your back is gonna twist because of that digging in. So see how my shoulders are tilted, but I'm still upright. I'm not hunching while I'm doing it, okay? So keeping those shoulders up, your chest up and open will prevent you from hunching. So even if you're, even if you're bent forward, or even if you're to the side, it's not that you can't move your back, it's that you don't want it to be hunched, okay? So as long as your shoulders are not rounding forward, even if you're tilted forward or tilted to one side or the other, that's fine. You just don't want to be rounded and hunched, okay? So that's your concentration curl. And then our part 2 is planks. So as I mentioned, you can do a high plank or an elbow plank. Typically, if I want high plank, I will say high plank. Otherwise, I'm referring to elbow plank. So similar to push-up, which we just talked about, you're on your elbows and you want to keep everything in line, okay? So my butt's not up here, my hips are not on the ground. I'm just as straight as I can be. I'm up on my toes, and I'm just holding my elbow plank, okay? If it's easier for you, you can hold a high plank, but same thing. You don't want to be up here. You don't want your hips sunken down. You want to be nice and neutral, all right? So that's your Monday.